Page 40, Splish Splash. Says a moderate rock tempo, and I think it's kind of a fast, moderate tempo, but it's up to you. You find recordings of this. It's just a happy piece. It's a party piece. This is when you're in a really good mood. Key of A flat major. 4 flats. Are you still in a good mood? Doesn't fall out of the fingers real well. Again, this is not really a piano piece, but it's kind of fun. Let's take a look at it. Right hand at the beginning. The melody's the top note. If you can, bring it out. If you can't, don't worry about it. Hit button 1, 2, 3, and just a lot of eighth notes, but there's a lot of syncopation going on. So you watch this counting carefully. So second measure, 1 and 2 and 3 and rest, and then the next measure, C flat. C natural on the last one, and that's an eighth note. Don't hang on to it. Then you have a quarter rest to come up for the next line. E flat, G flat. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and going on. 1 and 2 and 3 and third line here. 1 and 2 and now second measure, third line. Watch the counting. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and see, I need an eighth rest in there. And then the last measure, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and that's weird. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 going on. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and so it's eighth notes. Last measure, 1 and 2 and 3. And then you got more on the next page, the same kind of stuff. Let's go on page 41, third line down. You just finished this thing. You've had that before. Now we go up C flat to start with. You've had this before, but an octave lower. You just C natural. And then the next measure, they're here, C flat, or A flat, C flat, but it's an 8 VA, so take it up here. If you have enough keyboard. If you don't, you can't take it up. But otherwise, just for that little bit, and then you're back down here. Last line, second measure. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and see, it's tied. Then last measure, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and a lot of weird rhythms, huh? Page 42 is more of what we've already had before. I don't see anything tricky about it. It's a matter of getting the rhythm. So take it slow and careful. 1 and 2 and whatever it takes. Let's go to page 43. The first measure is here. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. You got a C flat there, and then go up an octave. 1 and 2. See, both of those C's are flatted. 1 and 2. And then you're back down. Second line, 1 and 2. And then the C flats again, you got all kinds of stuff. Let's take a look at the third line down. Very slowly. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Then the left hand helps out, and then the right hand, and then the next measure, same thing, an octave lower. The left hand does its thing, and then the last line, the right hand does it again an octave lower. And the next measure, and then the tremolo. You're going to take these notes, the E flat, G flat, and a C, and you just alternate them. You're not tremoloing, well, the left hand, you could I suppose, but just the right hand. If you don't want to tremolo, just play the chord and hang on to it. If you do the tremolo, try and do it in rhythm, maybe 16th notes, 1 eanda, 2 eanda. Just make it even, make it controlled. Speed is not so important. It's got to be controlled and even. For the left hand has got some harmonic help, and it's got a kind of a boogie woogie pattern going on here too. At the beginning on page 40, 5-2. Then the 2 is, you're going to use second finger at the beginning of each of these patterns, these iterations of this pattern. So it's here, G flat. It's like a boogie woogie pattern. And you're doing that over and over and over until you get to the third line. Now you're down here. And I do a 5-2 on the last note on that, and then next measure is a 1, and connect these. Remember, we're 4 flats: E flat, D flat, C, B flat, and then here. Last line, G flat, and then D flat F. Now it's a B natural, A flat. Top of page 41, you're back to this pattern temporarily. Now here you don't have to connect these notes if you don't want to, because they're not slurred. I'll leave that up to you. It's an interpretive thing. If you want to connect them, connect them. It's not giving you any instructions, so it's up to you how you want to interpret it. And that's pretty much it till we get over to page 43. So jump all the way over there. Second line, you're still doing this pattern. And then you have these broken octaves. B flat, C, D flat, E. So I'm rotating here. I'm just I'm transferring the weight from one side of the hand to the other. And the left hand's helping out on this, because you'll see an A flat left hand, and another A flats left hand, and at the last line left hand, and then that bottom note is an A flat. And then the last measure, the left hand plays that last A flat by itself, like so. And that's the left hand. Now it says non-legato. That means no pedal on this part. It's going to bounce. So separate them slightly. You get into that mood, and then you put the hands together and just watch the rhythm here, because the right hand's got some tricky rhythms, and it really helps to make the song if you get the rhythms the way they're written. Don't improvise on the rhythms if you can help it. So here at the beginning, I'm going to go slow. Remember the melody's top note in the right hand? That's what we want to hear. See, last measure, the first line. You got to get off of that last note, because the left hand's going to go play that chord in the next measure by itself. And you got to get your hand up here anyway. Now, the piece starts out medium loud. That's the melody. I mean, you're happy, okay. But when you get down to the third line, you got a crescendo. Now, if you want to start the crescendo a little softer than medium loud, so you got a little more room to get loud, the last measure you're going to be loud. Don't get loud before the last measure, so watch out. Now. See, we're still loud, and these are accented. To separate them a little bit, that's up to you, and then go on. Now you're back down to medium loud like you were at the beginning. So you gotta practice this. Your left hand's not moving around here, the right hand is, so just get these here to here to here. You got to work on these hand moves. So, because it's got to be in time, and that may take some. You can't mess up the beat, because no hesitations or nothing. It's got to go. If you can't do it that fast, then slow the whole thing down. So, anyway, going on. Last line on page 41. This has a crescendo too, like we had before, so you want to start out a little softer. when you get to the top of page 42, you're loud again. Not slow down, die away a little bit. They're in the third line, second measure. You have to be able, if you're going to read the music, you got to be able to move that right hand this octave pretty much without looking, eventually. So either that or memorize the piece, but I'll leave that up to you. How you're going to get your right hand to make all these moves, because you got no time to do them. Yeah, an eighth rest is about it. Now here the left hand moved. You went from here to here. So just be aware of that. But the right hand isn't going anywhere, so hopefully that you can handle that. The last measure of the page 42 is here. And if you want to do the at the top of page 43 in the right hand, if you want to do that 2 5 and then 1 4, it's up to your 2 5 to here, and then 1 4 after the F. It's whatever you work it out to whatever works for you on that. Then a second measure. Sounds a little weird, but that's what they've written. So it's starting at the beginning of the line. Keep the left hand down. And then once the left hand comes back up, it's not so bad. Second line, second measure, again these octaves. You're going to crescendo through this measure up to loud. If you want to start the measure a little softer than medium loud, so you got more room, that's fine. And then third line, medium soft here on the right hand. Real slowly, let's get this rhythm. You're here, 1 and 2 and 3. On 3, I lift up the right hand. The half note's done. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. 1 and 2. And then you're going to do this. It's a fermata, so you're tired yet, and then when you're done with it, you just play the last note. So you have to gradually speed it up because that A flat gets double duty here on the last 2 lines. I tend to tremolo both hands, but that's now you can use the pedal right there at the end to smooth out the tremolo if you want. I'm not showing it, but you just put it, just when you play this last note, lift the pedal up. As you play the note, you don't have to keep the pedal down there, just lift it up as you play the note. So the last couple of measures is here. Let's look carefully in the right hand here briefly. It's next to the last measure where the tremolo is. The chord, the first one, the quarter note, is a D, G, B. The tremolo note, the half note, E flat, G flat, C flat. See, the top note's the same note, same key. So you're just going from here to here. That's the only difference. It's a fun piece, I guess. If you really want to get into it, you almost have to memorize it. There's no way to make the, well, yeah, if you don't have it memorized and you're playing it for people and you got to make this page turn, either you get one of them to turn the page for you, or take a look at the top of page 42 when it's big. Left hand doesn't have anything to do for a little bit, and so while the right hand's doing its thing, the left hand can turn the page right quick if you need to. That's my only suggestion. If you can't get it that quickly, you'll have to leave out the chord in the left hand in the second measure. You can get away with it. The main thing with this chord is that A flat, the G flat. That's what they want to hear. So if you can't get it in the left hand, play that G flat in the right hand. So we still get the harmony. So it's the first one is, then you're going to turn the page if you're not done, and you have to keep going, and the left hand's not done yet, then play the G flat in the right hand for the one, and that way that works too. We do that too. It's called improvising. Once you learn it the way it's written, it's an arrangement. Rearrange it if you want. Improvise. I don't recommend improvising on the rhythm of the right hand. Try and keep that okay, but whatever else you want to do.